A little precious metals update here. As the days and the weeks tick on, it becomes more and more obvious that there is a problem for Western nations, especially the United States, regarding what it claims it has in gold, because it is counting other people's gold on its balance sheet, and that other people's gold, other countries' gold, has already been leased out and is not coming back. Be very interesting to see how that goes. Let's see, where do I start? How about the Turkish Prime Minister recently? Quote, "The world should consider switching from the dollar to gold." The US dollar to gold. Turkish Prime Minister, I thought you were our ally. I thought you were our ally, man. Come on. Don't put that little thought into people's heads, other countries. What's wrong with you? Speaking at the Bali Democracy International Summit over the weekend, the Turkish PM blasted the IMF's role in the global debt crisis, stating that, quote, "It is thought-provoking that the IMF is not using gold as a global currency." End quote. "One would wish that the IMF would help the countries in trouble, but this is not the case." End quote. Well, you see, Mr. Prime Minister, I don't know how to pronounce his name. The IMF is not in the business of helping countries, contrary to what we've been told and the mainstream media tells us. You see, the IMF goes in to a country such as Greece, would be one of their prime targets right now. Give them a loan. Here's a bailout fund. We already know you can't pay it back, but we're going to pretend you can. Because at the end of the day, what we really, really, truly want are real hard assets in exchange for that bailout. You see, we got bailout money from other countries for free, like America especially. They give it to us, just for fun. We take that money, and then we loan it to you, who we know can't pay it back. So we have paper money printed out of a printing press, fake, and in this case, it's just digital dollars being transferred. Nothing even happens. Almost as funny as watching 192 million ounces being traded on Wall Street of silver in the span of 10 minutes, dumping it, everyone selling off. Well, I say everyone, the banks selling off, and not a single ounce of silver was pulled out of the ground. Not a single ounce of real silver actually traded hands. It was all paper transactions. I just pretended you own this much and I own this much. Almost like playing Monopoly, fake money. Well, it's kind of like that. They just print this digital dollars, if you will. Here you go, IMF. IMF takes it and says, all right, here, we're not giving you all at once. Here's the amount. Looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, we need it. We're only going to give you monthly payments. And you're going to cut and destroy the people in your country to pretend that you can pay this back so we can continue making payments to you. And as the payments get made, you'll realize you can't make them payments, and it's getting worse, and the tax revenue that we forecasted for you was not even close. The revenues suck even worse because of the austerity measures we told you to implement. But forget all that. We're going to get to the point where you're so overburdened with debt you can't ever even think about paying it back. And that's right around the time when we step in and say you need to start selling off the assets of Greece. And by that we mean water company, electric company, public utilities, services, etc. So that we, as the elite and friends, will charge the living crap out of your citizens in Greece, because we will have taken those public entities or utilities, and we don't want to experience a recession or a depression, so we're raising rates. As soon as we get a hold of those assets, you guys are screwed. As they've said in the past, I forgot who was quoted saying this. Bankers, the banking system, is more powerful than a standing army. The banks are more powerful than a standing army. The pen is more powerful, or is, as they say, is mightier than the sword, or in this case, weapons, guns, etc., soldiers. With the stroke of a pen, writing fake numbers. Not, matter of fact, again, technology, we're not even talking about the stroke of a pen. It's now a stroke of a keyboard. I'm going to print some money out of nothing, Federal Reserve, and then I'm going to give it to my banker friends, and then we're also going to give some of that to the IMF and other banks in other countries, such as the EU, our other friends. None of that's going to go to Greece, except we will loan some of it to Greece through our intermediaries like the IMF. We will loan some of it. And I say we, it's actually they, the IMF. But when I say we as in the elite. And again, they passed this bill the other day in Greece. I guess it was yesterday or whatever. More austerity for you schmucks. Sorry about your luck. And privatization is going to start kicking in. We're going to start buying up those assets that we're also going to buy for pennies on the dollar, because you guys aren't in any situation to bargain. And even if you are, we just print more money out of nothing to give to you anyway. So honestly, we could pretend like we really gave you a good fair price for those things, if we wanted to as bankers. But since we're bankers, normally we don't do that. We just take everything at a fire sale. So the question's going to remain, and that is Greece going to allow, the people going to allow that raping and pillaging? And if the last year and a half or so is any telltale sign, yeah, they're going to. They're going to bend over and take it. Because I haven't seen anyone storm the Parliament building. I haven't seen anyone detaining the police and politicians because the police are stopping them from getting to the politicians. I haven't seen any of that happening. Maybe this will be the spark that takes them over the limit, and I would love to be sitting back here cheering that they took their country back from the bankers and the corrupt, crooked politicians. Would love to see that. Don't know that we will. My faith in the sheep is not too good. What else were we going to have here? Let's see. One more thing I want to talk about gold. Eric Sprott. Bloomberg released a must-watch interview with our good friend Eric Sprott of Sprott Asset Management, discussing his thoughts on gold. While unable to specifically discuss silver due to his current PSLV offering follow-on purchase, Sprott simply destroyed the mainstream media pundits' anti-gold argument, stating that gold has beat the dickens out of every other asset over the last 12 years, and questioned whether the Western central banks have any physical gold left in the vaults, as the gold listed on their balance sheets includes gold receivables, which has been leased out and is gone forever. So, more on that. We get to put Western countries, United States, etc. We put on our balance sheets, we have this gold. This is our gold, it's our balance sheet, it's an asset that we have. But we don't really have it, it's already been leased out and is never coming back. Not only that, they usually lease it, double lease it, triple lease it to other parties somehow, so that, and those other ones that they lease it to, I mean, then there's going to be one real party who gets the gold. And you know who that is. That's the club, the bankers, the top of the pack. But they've probably leased it out to other parties too. But those other parties, you get a paper lease. In other words, you get to put on paper that you have this asset or whatever. You don't actually get it, but we're going to allow you to say you have it. And trust me, we have it over here for you. We're holding it safekeeping. We're just going to make sure that you write down that you have it on paper. Really, they don't have it here either. It's been leased out to our pals over at JP Morgan, etc. So, gold and silver, listening to me say these things, does it sound like gold and silver should be going down anytime in the near future, few years, whatever? Or does it sound like there's a problem? And that problem also sounds like the price should go way higher. due to the problem. I don't know about you, but that's what it sounds like to me. Take care.